All right. Perfect. All right. 3, 2. Thank you, Kelly. Good morning, good evening, good afternoon, everyone. Welcome to another exciting, action-packed, fun-filled episode of Midlife Hockey Crisis, the Beer League podcast. My name is TJ Hollingsworth, joined as almost always by my co-host, the Dangler, Danglin' Dave Dickerson. What's up, my friend?
Oh, man. How are you? Good to see you. Finally.
Right back at you. We can see each other.
We
For those of you
can.
sitting out there in the podcast world, we're trying some new technology tonight. We are recording this on Zoom and going to take the audio portion that will become the podcast. So we actually, Dave and I, can see each other. First time we recorded where we had a visual on each other, probably in 2 months. I'll bet.
It's been a while.
Between the pandemic, lockdown, and your busy schedule, it's a hard time getting you and I together in the same room. So we're going to try some new technology. If it was good enough for Howard Stern, I think we can probably wing it.
The NHL's doing it, so we can do it.
Yeah, we can do this. Now, here's what's cool. This also opens up some other opportunities because we can have not only one, but we can have 2 guests on the show, which we do right now. Joining us via the interweb machine is our good friends Bob Miller and Randy Greb. Bob, how are you doing, bud?
Fantastic, TJ.
Randy, first time on. Welcome to the show, my friend.
Outstanding.
Awesome. Well, let's get things going first. First off, what is everybody using for the internal cleanse? I'm going with the standby Bud Light. Bob, you had a very dark-looking beer.
I've got dragon's milk. So
not even really sure what is this, like a Game of Thrones thing, or I probably don't want to know.
You don't want to know.
Randy, what do you got, bud?
A wine cooler.
Wine cooler, right?
All right, that concludes the show for Randy's
Thanks for
portion.
coming. You know what? I would have brought beer if I knew beer was a requirement on this show here. It is a beer league after all.
It is a beer
I got
league.
you one, man. I got you one.
There you go.
Cool.
I got this
Dave will
Metallica
have
beer.
one for both of you.
Look at this Metallica.
Yes.
Yeah, I don't know what it is.
What is it?
Enter the Sandman.
Enter Night.
Oh, Enter Night.
It says Pilsner, but it's like an IPA. It's like a light IPA. And then I got
You know,
really
it's funny.
cool.
I got my own standby.
I saw Metallica's first North American tour with the whole band still together.
Right.
They
When
killed
would that have
Ozzy.
been?
Killed Ozzy. 86.
86. Because
Yeah.
I saw them. They were the opener at the Monsters of Rock in 1987, and I remember that it was Metallica, Kingdom Come, Dokken, Scorpions, and Van Halen.
Yes.
Oh, it was
Wow.
great. That's the night I met my wife. That's how I remember that. July 6th, 1987.
And the night-
1988, rather.
Cheers,
and the
fellas.
night you conceived your first child.
Absolute. Well, no, number 3. But, that's a whole different story. Let's get back on topic here, guys. This is pretty cool.
my
We got
garage-
everybody. Now,
my
one of
garage
the things
is
we're going to try to do. That's always a bonus. We're gonna try not to step all over each other. So again, forgive us, folks. We're making do with what's available. Obviously, this would be great if we're all sitting around the same table, but we're not. So we're just gonna hack through this. Here in Central Indiana, we are now starting week number 3 of no hockey. We got to play. I got to play. Randy, I don't think you got to play 2 Sundays ago. Bob, you played, I'll bet. I played. I was on a tear. I had a 3-goal one goal I was subbing for a team. So I had 6 goals in 2 weekends. And of course I go on a roll, and what happens, all hockey shuts down. So it is what it is. But I came up with a list of stuff that I thought might be fun to kind of talk about, because we do gear this show towards kind of the newer player, or maybe somebody that's looking in to get to it. Now, Dave and I are brand new hockey players. Bob, you've been playing for a while. Randy has recently rejoined after being a longtime hockey player years ago, has recently gotten back into the game. So we got kind of a nice balance of experience here. Let's do this real quick. Randy, since you are our new guest here, why don't you tell everybody a little bit about your hockey background, how long you were out, and then what inspired you to get back in the game? Give us the elevator speech.
Well, basically, I started playing when I was like 10 years old down at Perry. And we actually played at Ellenberger quite a bit. That's kind of dating me. It's been shut down for a very long time. Well, essentially, I started playing in leagues at Perry and Ellenberger. And as I got to be an adult, I started playing all my games at Perry pretty much. And I would say I probably paid an equal amount actually at the fairgrounds. So was a South Side hockey player.
So this is south side of Indianapolis for those who are listening from outside of Indiana.
Sorry about that. Yeah, I'm in Greenwood on the south suburb of Indianapolis. So let's preface that. But I essentially, getting married, having children, I was playing softball 2 nights a week and playing hockey 2 nights a week. I had to give one up. And so I just figured it was
Softball's
going to be
gotta go.
hockey, which is no, softball should have gone, but
I thought you were gonna say the family went.
we started that team back in '86. Yeah, the family went. So looking back on it, it was a stupid move. But I quit when I was like 34, and I started playing again just last. At the end of 2018, I was talking to a guy at a bar, O'Reilly's I go to here in Greenwood, and I said, put some hockey on TV, and he did. Some guy asked me, who's watching hockey over here? A guy named Zach Mullen came over and talked to me. You guys might know Zach a little bit. He plays everywhere. But we got talking. He goes, why'd you quit? And on and on and on. Before I knew that, he gave me Jason McGraw's phone number, and I started playing hockey again. And I'd said I'd be in my first league by the second quarter of 2019, and I was. And so I haven't looked back since. I've been playing consistently.
Now, something I always like to ask people that are coming back to the game, Randy, just give me your elevator speech answer. What are some things that changed in the time you're off, and what was the biggest challenge you had as far as getting back to where you felt comfortable on the ice again?
It was funny. I thought skating would be the biggest challenge, but in the very beginning, skating felt like I was doing it wrong. It really did. But I was using 30-year-old skates, and so I finally went up and bought new skates, had them heated and fitted in the oven, and the skating just came back. My skating is getting better every time I play. The one thing that's the hardest, and it's always the hardest thing in D League or even C League, is stick handling. Stick handling is something, if you don't practice it, you'll never get better at it. So I think that's the challenge, is good stick handling.
Outstanding. And so as far as what you've learned here, I mean, are you doing anything right now to kind of keep it just kind of I always think skating is one of the first things that you kind of lose your confidence in when we have these big long breaks. Have you been able to find anything to keep you moving, keep you active in that manner?
Well, it's funny about this. We talked about you're doing inline skating now.
Mm-hmm.
And I bought a pair of inline skates. They should be here tomorrow.
Oh, terrific.
So I'm going to head over to the basketball court and just let it fly over there.
Right on.
I can drag my goal over there too.
So, Bob, let's talk to you here for a minute. But you made the big move up to the C3 level, which here in Central Indiana, society was done playing. They created this league because we had too many guys that were getting too good for D, but they, for one reason or another, didn't want to move and didn't play with the 30-year-olds anymore. Probably would be the biggest thing. How's it been? What's C3 like?
Oh, well, I mean, TJ, I think you got to really understand that I'm probably between 18 and 24 leagues under the professional level at this point. So, it's a big step up for me. And, if I had another 100 years, I think I could really, really move forward. But at this point, I think it's a little bit more solid for sure. It's fun. It's competitive. We're having a good time. Got a pretty good team. So
just to give people some kind of an idea, the D League here in Central Indiana, here at both facilities that host, is meant to be a beginner's league, a beginner's adult league, or for players who are a little later in life, 40s and 50s that, don't have the, just don't want to play super fast, competitive, B and C league hockey, but still want to get out on the ice and play. It's been a good mix. The C3 was kind of created to because they essentially have so many players that were coming in that were brand new here in Central Indiana that the gap between the haves and the have-nots, so to speak, was just getting too great. So they decided to create this league. What have been some differences you've seen? If you could pick 2 or 3 things, Bob, that are really different over, adult beginner league and now the C3, what would you say they were?
The C3 league is a lot more competitive, a lot better skating, shooting, stick handling. And I felt like D level at especially Carmel has become what it was supposed to be. Like, hey, we're not having the playoffs. If you're brand new, come in, let's play hockey. It's going to be a one and done. You play the scrimmage and you move on. You try to get better. If you decide you want to compete, then you move up. But I like that because the Fishers D League, there's too many guys that are really good that come down and dominate that league.
Agreed.
Which I don't think is fair to the guys who are not there for that. I'm certainly not there for it. I mean, you've seen me play, TJ. I'm not dominating the league. I'm out there playing hockey and hopefully make some good passes, but not trying to take things over and probably not capable of taking things over for sure. So, that's an interesting aspect of adult hockey is people playing down below their level and kind of messing it up for the guys that are a couple years in.
Right. No, I'm sure that's nothing that's unique to Central Indiana. I know, Dave, you and I have spoken about this on several occasions. You had originally were going to play C3 this year, but due to school and work and some stuff, you decided to take a session off, and then Mother Nature decided we were all going to take a session off.
No, that's untrue. I heard that Bob was going to be my captain, so I decided to quit entirely.
Just hanging up and pulled some strings and made a call to China and made.
I was like, no, I'm done. Can you eat some bats? But yeah, crap happens. Yeah, school and life, and then this bullshit gets in the way.
Dave, you're in a weird spot in hockey because you don't really fit in with the D League, but in the Fishers League especially, I've seen you get frustrated by having B-level talent come down and walk right by both of us, quite frankly.
Yeah.
Over and over and over again,
multiple times. Yeah.
So it's weird because you don't really belong in D League. So, I mean, you belong in a higher league than D League, but.
I appreciate that. Yeah, I think that the problem with, and maybe some other guys and gals can attest to this, is that our Fishers League, it's 2 nights a week, 1 night a week, whatever. There's really no movement because you'd have to move to a weekend to play. Whereas Carmel, sorry, I say TJ rolling me on, but Carmel, you can spread it out. Everybody's on different days in different leagues. Where Fishers, we're kind of all stuck. Go ahead.
Well, guys, let's do this. Let's go ahead and start this is our first panel discussion. I wanted to throw out a couple of topics here that are stuff that would come up for the new player or the newer player, or maybe somebody, Randy, like yourself, that is where you were, 12, 14 months ago, just thinking about getting back into the game. So let's hit this up with this. I get this all the time, guys. And you hear the chatter on the bench during the game, and it's all about helmets. Which helmet do you wear? Now, it's interesting. You folks listening at home can't see this, but sitting right behind Dave, I'm looking at one of his helmets that's got a plastic shield on the front of it. I think, is that your full plastic, or is that just the top, Dave?
It's a half. So I've got the cage. I've got
perfect.
Shield. Yeah, I don't know. I like it. I like the protection and the field of view.
Let's just go ahead and go around the room, and we'll start with our new guest. We're going to start helmets, birdcage, shield, half shield, fish bowl. Which one do you wear and why? Let's start with you, Randy. What do you wear?
Well, it's kind of funny. I used to wear a half shield playing all through. Now, I had to wear a cage playing youth hockey, but I wore a half shield all the way through till I quit at 34. When I came back, I went with the full birdcage shield. And then I started using this little guy right here.
Mm-hmm.
This is the fish bowl.
Right.
Great vision, extremely warm. It really makes it difficult because it holds all the heat right in your face. So it's quite uncomfortable. So I went back to the bird cage, the full cage.
So you are kind of going at it backwards. Most people go from the bird cage. That's what I did. I went to what you just held up and absolutely love it. But you went back to the bird cage. Bob, what are you wearing?
I like the cage.
Any particular reason?
Sometimes you need to play like you belong behind bars, You got to have that mentality, right?
That's the NFL.
Fitting snug and tight and just looking out of the bars and like, hey, all hell's about to break loose, right? That's what you need to be.
Dave, tell me, what do you think? I started with a bird cage like most people probably do in adult hockey. I mean, I've been playing barely a year, and my big problem was when we were doing face-offs, even if I wouldn't take, I'm just playing off the face-off circle. Looking down, I couldn't see. All I could see were metal bars. I was missing pucks that were bouncing off my skates and everything else.
I'm same way.
You kind of do the hybrid birdcage / fish bowl.
Yeah, I couldn't take this. I couldn't take that anymore. I did like the fact that I saw the actual, I saw the ice, but something like that, it gives you a better field of view, but you are behind a shield, so it looks like you're watching a TV show. But I had to go to that. I like the field of view. I don't like anything in my eyes because I same as you, I missed a puck here and there, especially, you're trying to catch that pass. But, yeah, I gotta stick with that, the bird or the fish bowl.
Now, notice none of our group here wears a half shield. which at our level, there's a few guys that do it, and it just absolutely blows me away. I cannot imagine. It's not even so much, well, especially when you get down into, you're playing with adult beginners, the flailing. There's a lot of guys that we're playing with right now. A lot of them, it's their first time on the ice, period. When they start to fall, those arms go up with a stick on the other end of it. They go into helicopter mode, baby.
Yeah, you get a mouthful of metal for this. Just like a bash right in your mouth.
Yeah.
Hard, huh?
When you see somebody lose
I got
their
a nice
teeth.
scar on my left arm from somebody that got loose and their skate went up in the air. So,
Oh, geez. Oh, that's just.
I know you can't see it, but it's there.
Well, it's dangerous. Yeah, I mean, you take a puck to the teeth.
Yeah,
You're out for a few days.
It ruins the game when one of your buddies loses his front teeth. It does. You're looking at him, you're like, oh my gosh, Sam just had teeth.
Yeah. Well, at our level, if you're wearing a half shield, we always tell the folks to move up. Like, that's just straight up move up. But
yeah, I'm of the opinion that if you're a beginning hockey player and you're out there with a half shield, either one, you're very stupid, or two, you're not a beginner. You're a lot better than you say you are, and you have no business playing with us anyway. Either way, it's a bad idea. So I would go on record as saying, if you are, again, the risk versus reward. You can't see that much better than you can on the fishbowl. And if you're that uptight about what other people are going to say about you, you probably shouldn't be doing things out in public anyway. Thoughts?
You're right. Yes.
Bob, what do you, I mean, you ever get any grief for having a bird cage, being an older player like we are?
As old as I am, I don't worry about getting grief from anybody. I think it's funny. I started playing when I was 18, and I just played some stick and pucks and just messed around. I played in one league in college, and I didn't wear any facial protection, and I had stitches in both my eyes.
Oh,
and
geez.
I realized, I'm like, it's probably not the best idea. And then, like I said, I've seen people lose their teeth, and you realize that they're in for a long haul with getting their teeth replaced. And I got to stay married. My wife would kill me. I wouldn't be afraid.
USA Hockey has some.
I'm not scared of the game. I'm scared of her. Come on, man.
All right, let's move on here. Let's talk a little bit about skates. And this is something that we could ask 25 people, and I guarantee you we would get 25 different answers, but we got 4 guys here. And I want to hear what you have to say. Skate sharpening. How often and when do you know? Let's do it backwards. Dave.
I do about once every 2 months. I like that sweet spot where I can slide, where I can dig in. I do a half. I'm 200 pounds, so it kind of goes away pretty quick. But I would say probably.
When you say a half, explain to people listening.
So the way it's cut, so you basically your blade sits like if you're looking at you're looking at the.
People can't see us now.
Well, when we post it, so you've got the blade that you're going to sit on, the edge that you're going to cut. You're essentially on 2 blades, so it's just the radius. Yeah. Imagine a circle being underneath there. Mine's a 1/2-inch circle. I like a little bit of bite, but I like a lot of slide too. I'd say once every 2 months.
So there's some options. Yeah. So what is there anything that leads you to go, hey, it's time to get them sharpened, or you just do it by the calendar?
The back of my skate where my heel kind of sits, I slide a little. I slide a little more than I should. So it's about that point where I'm like, yeah, it's time. Or before, like a week before a tournament, I know it's time to get some sharpening done then. What about you guys?
You'll take brand new skates though, and you'll get them sharpened, and then you'll go run them across a dashboard or right there at
driveway.
The you don't like them.
Oh, yeah. Ouch. I can hear that sound right now in my head.
I was joking, but yeah, I will. As soon as I get a sharpen, I go right over to the bench and start kind of knife sharpening on the side of the plastic or on the wood, just to dull them down a little bit. Because I always get it, for me, just a little bit too sharp, and that way it kind of dulls it down a little bit.
Bob, what about you? How often and when do you know?
I feel the blade. And if there's nicks in it, or if I just rub my hand across it, it doesn't feel sharp. Also, if I losing confidence in it, if I just don't have as good a game, and I think probably the skates. It's never the skates, but that's what I tell myself. It's got to be the skates. There's no
skates. It's got to be the skates.
Skating that poorly.
Your skates, your gloves.
Yeah, probably
every new ones.
Every 4 weeks, probably every 4 weeks. I get I think a 5/8. It's a little bit more aggressive of a cut. I like a sharper skate. And it's fun to do my kid because, he does it. I just started doing it. So he was on a half inch, and that 5/8 gets him a little bit sharp. So if he has to stop, it's going to be really chaos for him at first, which is fun to watch from the stands.
Randy, what about you, buddy? I know you're just into the new skates now. What have you gone through a sharpening? What radius are you using?
Well, I went to 5/8 when I first got the skates. Bless you, brother.
Thank you.
And what I found with the 5/8 is that I would get the dig that I wanted, but on the crossover going backwards, I felt like that they would grip a little too bit for me. So I went back to a half inch. So I use a half inch right now, and I usually look at on games. So how much time have I put on the blade? Typically, I'm going about every 10 games. I'm getting them sharpened, and now that's if I'm playing once a week. Obviously, if I'm playing twice a week, which I did for the longest time this year, I may up that schedule a little bit. We're meaning that I'll probably just go once every 6 weeks and have them done. It just feels that whenever I lose that, when I'm skating, I can skate about 45 miles an hour. You guys know that. But anyway,
I've skated. I've seen you go by.
Yeah, it's just a black blur.
A black blur in a puddle of water as the ice was melting.
In a puddle of water, that's right. But if I don't feel that I'm getting grip when I'm trying to go as fast as I can, just trying to punch the skates and really digging in. If I feel that I'm kind of sliding and slipping, that's when I get them done.
Interesting, because I have a little more of a technical aspect to it. I tried to go about 4 hours on a set of blades, and unlike Dave, I know Dave, you probably are one end of the extreme, the other. I like super sharp. I want maximum bite. I want to make sure that if I go in and I try to do a sharp turn, that I can turn as hard as I can on a dime. I started using the hockey tracker app with my Apple Watch right back when I came back from my injury. So this has been going back to August of last year. If you're not familiar with it, if you have an Apple Watch, Hockey Tracker is an app that you download onto your phone and then onto your watch, and it will track all kinds of cool stuff. It'll track your shifts, how long your shifts are. It'll track how fast you're skating. It'll track also it'll track your VO2 max, your heart rate during the whole game. So it gives you all this thing. And one of the things that it takes all that data and crunches together, and it comes up with skating efficiency, which essentially it's telling you for the amount of energy you're putting out, how well are you skating across the ice. And one thing I noticed when I came back is, my stats were getting better as I was getting healthy and getting back in shape and getting more confident, after having broke my leg. And then after a couple of games, all of a sudden these numbers started going down. My skating efficiency started to drop. I'm like, what's going on here? It should be going the other way around. And then it occurred to me I had about 11 or 12 hours on the blades, hadn't had them sharpened yet. Went to go have them sharpened, and sure enough, all those numbers went back up. So I kind of look at when I start to see those numbers start to slip, I think, wow, I feel great. I was healthy, thought I had a pretty good game, thought I was playing pretty well, and then the numbers are bad. Yeah, I'll go back and think about, okay, where am I on this? Okay, yeah, I'm about 6-7 hours in. It's time to go get a sharpen on it. But I'm a half-inch guy too. I've played around. I haven't with the new Bowers that I've got. I say new; they're new to me. I've only had them for 6 or 8 months now. But I'm the same way. I'm a half-inch guy. I'd like to try 5/8, but I was kind of really hoping I'd get a little more comfortable with some backward stuff. I can't cross over going to my right to save my life. But the inline skates, I nailed it last week. So hopefully there'll be some good that transfers out of that. Let's move on. We are going to run out of time here, guys. Let's wrap things up with this. Let's have a little fun with this. And if you're listening at home, would love for you to answer this. You can hit us up on either Facebook or on Instagram or at Midlife Hockey Crisis. I want to hear what you guys think about this. What is your first memory of hockey, and what made you decide to take up the game? And we'll do it this time. We'll go with Randy since he's our new guest.
Well, my sister told me we were going to go to I thought she said a Racers game back in the day. So we're talking
a minute ago.
In 1975. And so when I get to Market Square Arena, what I see is the ice, and I feel the coolness of it. I thought, this is cool. This is my first experience ever to hockey. So we sit down right on the goal line, 4 rows up, which is the worst place to sit for a first-time hockey player. And we're getting beat 4-0 to Birmingham. I remember this like it was yesterday. And we scored a goal in the last minute, and I was sitting right on the goal line. I watched the net just puff up when the puck hit it. the red light on. I just came out of my seat. Didn't know why I was doing that. I just came out of my seat. And it was an amazing thing. That was it. I mean, from that point on, I wanted to play the game.
Dave, what about you, my man?
I was one of the kids that rollerbladed in the 90s. Somebody bought me I think my mom, dad, bought me a hockey stick, and I did the math. I played roller hockey in Chicago, and I thought, you know what, I can ice skate. Maybe I'll take it to the ice, and it is what it is. That's what I've been doing for a couple years now.
And Bob, how about you? I like your story. You've told it before on here, but I want to share it because we get new listeners every single episode.
Well, I started watching hockey at Market Square Arena, like Randy, probably about 1975, 1976. And, always loved it. When I was 18, I played for a minute, and just without the internet, without any real training, it was very difficult. So I jumped out, and then Jackie and I were watching hockey. And, the next thing you know, he's 4 and I got him on skates, and I'm like, I can still skate. Like, I want to do this. He loved it. So, jumped right back in the adult leagues to kind of be able to understand what he was going to go through. And then, now he's 13. So it's been a great ride. I hope to play as long as I can. And, if I can falsify some identification, I'll probably move to Florida, play in the over 70s league, hopefully in my early 60s.
It's pretty cool. I hear what they do is they just freeze up the shuffleboard courts in the fall.
Yeah, they actually have like an over 70 league down there. It's great.
That would be amazing. I'm hoping maybe Indy will develop a big enough of a hockey following here that we'll be able to have an over 40 or an over 50 league. That would be kind of cool. Just
wouldn't be bad.
A bunch of us guys moving all about the same speed. Dave, I know you got a little while to get there. So
I'll get there.
We'll save a spot on the bench for you.
Save one.
Well, Randy, Bob, I want to thank you so much for being on. As always, open invitation. Love you. Have you come back. I guess probably the biggest thing is we need to make sure we get playing some hockey here very soon.
Amen.
And can make something happen here. So, again, thanks so much for being on. I want to thank our sponsors. I want to thank the Hockey Arsenal. Want to thank the Hockey Arsenal for supporting us all this time. WinningSynthetics.com. Make sure you stop in there and get AMSoiled up, guys. Your car, your Zamboni, your motorcycle's all going to run better on AMSoil. And make sure you visit WinningSynthetics.com. And also, we're going to be doing I'm going to do a special video on our YouTube channel about the Cam Box. That is where I'm getting this cool game footage with the in-helmet camera. We've got a great deal for that, but I'm going to save that for another broadcast. So, guys, thank you so much for being here. Everybody stay safe. Wash your hands, wash your ass, whatever you're supposed to wash, make sure you're washing it. Kelly, take it away.